Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe. Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Gurudev. We are reading from Sri Sri Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi, verse 177. All glories to some Surata Rangini, Radha, a Ganga river of amorous love in Vrindavan that is always eager to meet the ocean of Rasikas, Krishna, whose face is its lotus flower, whose navel is like its deep whirlpool, whose buttocks are like its banks, and whose waist bells are its cooing swans. All glories to some Surata Rangini, Radha, a Ganga river of amorous love in Vrindavan that is always eager to meet the ocean of Rasikas, Krishna, whose face is its lotus flower, whose navel is like its deep whirlpool, whose buttocks are like its banks, and whose waist bells are its cooing swans. The Ganga river of Raj. It is evening, and Shripad, in his Kinkari form, is engaged in Srimati's service in Yavat. The moon rises in the sky, and the Malayan breezes are blowing, and the moon rays increase Srimati's eagerness to meet Sham. Just then, Sham plays his enchanting flute in a trysting place, and Rai madly rushes out to meet him. Avistar, although the night is as dark as a mass of coryllium, the path is slippery, and there are snakes coiling all over the dark forest. These things cannot stop her passionate course. All the tigers, bears, buffaloes, and wild boars flee when they see passionate Rai approaching. And when she sees a snake with effulgent jewels on its hoods, she fearlessly covers these jewels with her hands so that they will not betray her presence to her superiors. Oh, Rai, what can I say about your passionate love for Madhava? The maidservants follow Srimati like her shadow, seeing her as a Ganga river of passionate love speedily flowing towards the ocean of Sham. Suratarangini can mean Suratarangani, the river of the gods, Ganga, or Surata Rangini, a woman who enjoys amorous pastimes. Just as both the banks of a river, Dukola, are flooded during the rainy season.
Two corner of the river. Shore of the
Like both sides?
both.
Just as both banks of a river, Dukola, are flooded during the rainy season, this girl also forgets her two families, Dukola, her own family and her husband's family, as she swiftly flows towards the ocean of her paramour. The maidservant sees that Radha is a pure Ras river, Vishuddha Ras Vahini, of love. Pure means having no desire for personal satisfaction, but only having a firm desire for satisfying Krishna's senses. This pure love can never be compared to the love of a worldly heroine for her paramour. Radha's love is the essence of the transcendental, selfless love of Raj. She's very anxiously thinking, how eagerly my Rasamai Pranakanta must be waiting for me, always carrying the eager king of transcendental amorous Rasa, Sri Krishna, in her heart. Srimati's beautiful face is like a blooming golden lotus flower that floats on this pure love river, from which the honey of pure love for Krishna drips, and her navel is like a deep whirlpool of rasa in this strong river, which constantly sucks up the blades of Krishna's grass-like thoughts and desires. The dear mind of enchanted Madhava falls into the nectar well of Radhika's navel and cannot come out anymore.
तुम्हारे से बात कैसी थी?
आप हमेशा अपील करते रहते हैं कुछ
नहीं रहता।
ये क्या है कुछ
करते हैं क्या? कहाँ करते हैं?
उनको पैसा सा देते रहते हैं
कुछ नहीं।
आप सेवा करें आपकी
तो है तुम भी कर रहे हो और तुम करता नहीं। अभी कुछ नहीं किए। आएंगे हम हमारे अभी तो नहीं होगा, बाद में आएंगे। उसके लिए बात करो, वही बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है ना। आयुष मोर इम्पोर्टेंट बात करते हैं। अभी क्लास में इसको सरकार के इंडियन अभी 7-8 घंटे।
Just as lordly swans are sweetly cooing and playing on the banks of the Ganga, so the waist bells of Sri Radha sweetly jingle on her bank-like buttocks as she rushes towards the Krishna ocean. The maidservant glorifies this Ganga of passionate love while she follows her. All glories to the celestial nectar Ganga of love, Sri Radha, that always stay in Vrindavan, and whose smiling face is like an ever-blooming lotus flower that delights the eyes. How deep, beautiful navel, her deep, beautiful navel is like a whirlpool of ras, whose sight steals one's mind, and her buttocks are like the banks of this river that carry a nectarian jingling swan-like sash of bells. Prabodhananda says the nectarian name of Radha is a spotless and deep river that always madly flows towards the Sham ocean. Thus completes verse 177.
Madly flow to the Sham ocean. Means Radhika not staying out of Sham. That is the one point. Life becomes successful when we are one point. Spiritually or materially. Material one-pointed is temporary, and spiritual one-pointed means the Istinista fixed with your Istadev and love to him is the highest point. What is teaching Radharani to us? We have to be one-pointed. What do you want to do one-pointed? They have to work. Yes, work for Radha, not for myself. Work. And house, I want to be making a house. You make for Radha. What do you do for Radha? That's it. But the circumstances is there. I have to take care. Yes, sure. Because this is the responsibility given by my history. I have to take care. So there's nothing that is not to do. But the goal has to be one point. This is very rare. 101% come to this. And that is the way of Raga, not godly consciousness, loving it. Divine way of life. Go.
Verse 178. Aho, bearing the union with the waves of the new enjoyer of amorous rasa, Sri Radhika, accepting her flow into his own body, the nectar-filled ocean of joy, a transcendental light, Krishna, dwells in a Madhavi pavilion with sweetly humming bumblebees, intoxicated by nectarian amorous desires. Aho, bearing the union with the waves of the new enjoyer of amorous rasa, Sri Radhika, accepting her flow into his own body, the nectar-filled ocean of joy, a transcendental light, Krishna, dwells in a Madhavi pavilion with sweetly humming bumblebees, intoxicated by nectarian amorous desires.
Yeah.
The river meets with the ocean. Shripad, in his Kinkari form, follows passionate Radhika on her Abhisar. Srimati lost all sense of direction, and the maidservant, running behind her, tells her what is the way. Meanwhile, Shamsundar eagerly waits for her in a sweet pavilion of Madhavi flowers. How beautiful is this pavilion of Madhavi flowers. The vines and trees bear many blooming flowers whose fragrance attracts the thirstily buzzing bumblebees, and the drunken cuckoos fill all the directions with their sweet songs. All the forest creatures shiver of ecstasy when they are touched by the pleasantly blowing soft breeze. The peacocks blissfully spread their feathers and start to dance sweetly. Bucks and does walk happily around, and different birds are chirping. This wonderful natural beauty creates strong amorous feelings in Sri Krishna, for it reminds him of Srimati Radha. The transcendental Cupid of Vrindavan becomes agitated himself. The southern breezes, the fragrance of the flowers, the buzzing of the bees, the singing of the cuckoos, and the dancing of the peacocks are like Cupid's 5 cruel arrows that pierce the tender prince of Raj and make him helpless. In a very agitated state, he then prays to Cupid, "O Cupid, don't hold that mango bud arrow in your hand and don't place it on your bow. You are easily capable of conquering the whole world. So how can you show your prowess by piercing a person who has already fainted? A hero like you will simply be criticized for that. And if you ask me, why did you faint? Then listen, I will tell you, some doe-eyed girl out of ecstasy, Krishna could not pronounce Radha's name, has already aimed her arrow-like glances at me from the bow of her eyebrows. Although Krishna is the personification of bliss, such are his feelings of separation. When he hears the bees buzzing around the blooming Madhavi flowers, he becomes so agitated by lusty feelings that he blocks his ears with his hands. Then the afflicted hero sees that the whole of Vrindavan is illuminated by a golden splendor, and he hears the jingling of waist bells and ankle bells. These delightful impulses make him rise from death once more. Srimati is also very anxious when she sees a bluish light illuminating the Madhavi pavilion. She is very agitated when she sees She is very agitated when she sees the ocean of nectarian ecstatic ras, Sri Shamsundar, the transcendental Cupid of Vrindavan. And Sham is also very happy when he sees the Ananga Nava Rangini, young girl who enjoys amorous sports, Rasa Tarangini, river of mellows, Sri Radha. They are very happy to see each other. It is as if they anxiously float on an ocean of nectar. When their eyes become steady, they can see each other's faces, and their eyes become filled with tears. He takes Rai by the hand and seats her on his left, wiping the sweat drops from her face with his yellow cloth. Govinda Das blissfully beholds Radha and Krishna's wonderful pastimes. Thus, the Radha River meets with the Krishna Ocean, just as the ocean swells when a river merges into it. So Shyam's heart blooms up with amorous desires when he holds the Radha Ganges River to his chest. Thus ends verse 178. Verse 179. Just like Vrindavan, Sri Radha steals Madhupati's mind with the hairlines on her body that look like the streams of the Yamuna River, her bodily aura that shines like Panduka flowers, her limbs that shine like Champaka flowers, her lake-like navel, her bouquet-like breasts, her vine-like arms, and her ornaments that buzz like bees.
Last time.
That buzz like bees. Just like Vrindavan, Sri Radha steals Madhupati's mind with the hairlines on her body that look like the streams of the Yamuna River, her bodily aura that shines like Banduka flowers, her limbs that shine like Champaka flowers, her lake-like navel, her bouquet-like breasts, her vine-like arms, and her ornaments that buzz like bees. Sri Radha is Vrindavan. Shripad's transcendental vision continues. After Radha and Madhava made love in the Madhavi pavilion, the fortunate maidservant can fan them and serve them fresh betel leaves and scented water. After a short rest, Radha and Madhava set out to admire the beauty of the vernal forest. Even when Radha is not with him, this vernal forest can cause Krishna to become pierced by Cupid's arrows. But now he can relish the beauty of the forest together with her. The branches of the trees are filled with flowers and fresh sprouts, surrounded by buzzing and drinking bumblebees. There, the young cuckoos sing in the fifth note, and the wind performs arati to the young couple by carrying the scent of sandalwood. It is the full moon night of the enchanting king of seasons, spring, and the clever hero meets the clever heroine. Krishna's body shines like an emerald, and Rai's body like a golden mirror melted 10 times. When they look at each other, they become absorbed in each other. Rai became Sham, and Sham became Gauri, Radhika. When they embrace each other, they start to laugh. Balaram Das glorifies this vision. Radha and Sham keep their arms on each other's shoulders and wander through the vernal forest, admiring its beauty in the light of the full moon. All the creatures of the forest shiver of ecstasy when they see the sweetness of the Yugala. A devotee who remembers this feels as if he directly experiences the slight smiles, the glossy golden and bluish complexions, and the unrivaled beauty of the Yugala Kishore. Sometimes goosebumps erupt on his skin when he hears their voices or the jingling of their ornaments. And sometimes he humbly thinks, alas, when will I see this youthful couple face to face and serve them directly? After touring the vernal forest, the divine couple sits down on a moonlit, jeweled platform on the bank of the Yamuna, being fully enchanted by each other's sweetness. The maidservant follows them like their shadow and fans them. Krishna tells Radhika, "O Prayi, you look like another form of Vrindavan to me. The erect hairs on your body are like the waves of the Mihir Ratmaja, Yamuna, because of their blackish luster. Your lips shine like the Banduka flowers that grow all over Vrindavan. Your bodily luster shines like the golden champaka flowers in the forest, and your beautiful navel is like one of the many beautiful lakes in Vrindavan. O Prayi, there is no shortage of comparisons between you and Vrindatavi. Your arms are like its fresh vines in spring. Your breasts are like its big bunches of flowers, and the jingling of your ornaments is like the buzzing of bees. When I wander through Vrindavan, I see that you have given this forest all of your personal beauty. With your sweet beauty, you steal my heart, just as Vrindatavi does. No gopi can steal Krishna's mind as Sri Radhika does. The great poet Karnapura has written, Sri Radhika is like a garland of crown jewels on the heads of all the cowherd girls, just as the Vaidarbhi poetry is endowed with all qualities of embellishment as Madhurya, sweetness, Oja, power, and Prasad, grace. She is also adorned with jewel-like qualities like Madhurya, Oja, and Prasad. She is like a golden Ketaki flower in a garden of love, a lightning bud in a cloud of sweetness, a golden stripe on the whetstone of beauty, the moonlight of ecstasy, the essential wealth of an ocean of beauty, the beautiful, proud smile of spring, and a mind of all arts and all jewel-like qualities. The heart of the maidservant is absorbed in the sweet Rasa of Krishna's comparisons between Sri Radha and Vrinda Tavi, while she prepares a bed of soft flowers for the young couple, where they can become absorbed in their amorous pastimes. While the maidservants fan them and massage their feet, Radha and Madhava fall asleep. The blessed maidservants then also fall asleep at their feet, being absorbed in tasting their sweetness. Thus ends verse 179. Verse 180. When will I decorate my body with the unguents that stuck on Radha and Madhava's love bed, having fallen off at the beginning of their wonderful love play in the Nikunja? When will I restring the broken garlands that fell off of their bodies and wear them around my neck when I enter the Nikunja in the morning to sweep it up? When will I decorate my body with the unguents that stuck on Radha and Madhava's love bed, having fallen off at the beginning of their wonderful love play in the Nikunja? When will I restring the broken garlands that fell off their bodies and wear them around my neck when I enter the Nikunja in the morning to sweep it up? Sweet cosmetics in the arbor. Shripad, in his kinkari form, has fallen asleep while massaging Radha and Madhava's lotus feet. Meanwhile, Daybreak is coming. How beautiful is the daybreak in sweet Vrindavan. Honey oozes from the blooming flowers, whose fragrance pervades the whole forest. The bumblebees come quickly to drink their honey, and they buzz around all over the play grove. The cuckoos sing so sweetly that even Cupid's mind becomes intoxicated when he hears it. The 10 directions are filled with the songs of the birds and the deer, so that Balaram Das knows that the night has ended. The maidservants wake up and become engaged in their usual sweet, loving services. Some pour scented water from golden pitchers. Some make enchanting garlands, and some prepare sweet water and betel leaves. The maidservants are all love personified. The aspirants should pray to the eternally perfect maidservant, like Raghunath Das Goswami was praying. O friend, Rupa Manjari, the king and queen of Vraj, who are always manifest in my heart, have met in the Kunja after great endeavor. Please submit me to their service while you offer them betel leaves. Through the holes in the grove's foliage, the Sakis and Manjaris relish the sweetness of the young couple with the cups of their eyes. It is as if all beauty of the world is lying before them on a bed of flowers in the form of Radha and Krishna's bodies. Their clothes and ornaments have fallen off, and the lamps that burn in the corners of the kunja make them look like a blue lotus bud and the golden bud of a champaka flower. They have fainted of ecstasy from each other's touch, and they are lying next to each other, heart to heart, Krishna's right foot reaching up to Rai Kishore's left thigh. The Sakis and Manjaris are staring at this gorgeous sight without blinking and float in oceans of blissful ras as they discuss this sweet vision with each other. On Vrinda's indication, a male and female parrot begin to sing an awakening song to Krishna. Hari, Hari, wake up, O hero. The rascal creator is giving you so much misery by causing the night to end. The queen of Vraj is eager to churn curd. When our clever hero hears these words, he becomes worried and slightly opens his eyes. But when he sees his Priya, he closes them again while his hairs stand on end of ecstasy. He brings a jeweled lamp closer by and holds the chin of his beloved. Tears stream from his eyes while he beholds Rai's moon-like face, and both Radhika and him shiver of ecstasy. When the loving couple sits up on the bed, the maidservants serve them scented water and betel leaves and straighten out their clothes and ornaments before they get up from the bed and sit on a jeweled throne on the terrace of the kunja. Just then, the Sakis enter the kunja, giggling, covering their mouths with their veils, and making hundreds of waves of jokes and laughter. Shripad, in his kinguri form, floats in an ocean of bliss while he hears these sweet jokes and sweeps the kunja. She sees that the bed of flowers was destroyed by the powerful motion of the amorous couple's amorous battle, and the flowers were scattered here and there. The word prastada means flower bed. The maidservants decorate their own bodies with the cosmetics that have come from Radha and Madhava's bodies onto the bed of flowers. The garlands have become sweetened by the young couple's sweet love, and the hairs of the maidservants stand up of ecstasy when they remember that the flowers of this garland that was broken during the amorous battle were scattered all over the kunja, and the maidservants collect them and restring them into new garlands that they then hang around their own necks in boundless bliss. Suddenly, the spiritual vision disappears, and Shripad humbly prays to the lotus feet of his beloved deity if he can attain this good fortune once again. Thus ends verse 180. Gurudev, when the maidservants are picking up the cosmetics that have come off Radha and Madhava, they pick up both of them, or they're selective and they only pick up the cosmetics from Radha?
They bring for Radha, and when Radharani wants them to this Krishna decoration for through the Radha something. But ladies' makeup more important. Ladies make the makeup. That is our bikini for Radha.
Verse 181. My dear mistress, Radha.
Here in the Radha Sudhanidhi, importance of manjaris are not clear. That's the particular for the dasya. Radhika is there. It's not clear because this is not written by Rupa Raghunath. Prabhupada knows. You are more Manjari Bhav was there, but it's not specific clear there. Yeah. Go on.
Verse 181. My dear mistress, Radha, sometimes spends her day teaching her pet parrot verses, glorifying her beloved.
Right.
Sometimes by making lovely strings of fresh gunja beads and a crown of peacock feathers for him. And sometimes by drawing a picture of her beloved and then anxiously rubbing it to her breast as if she wants to experience his embrace. My dear mistress, Radha, sometimes spends her day teaching her pet parrot verses, glorifying her beloved, sometimes by making lovely strings of fresh gunja beads and a crown of peacock feathers for him, and sometimes by drawing a picture of her beloved and then anxiously rubbing it to her breast as if she wants to experience his embrace. Virahini Radha's activities. It is afternoon, and Shripad, in his Kinkari form, is engaged in Srimati's service in Yavat. Srimati suffers very much out of separation from her Priyatama, and her girlfriends try to pacify her by saying, "Oh Radhe, don't be so upset. Ranenjanandana will come by just now with his cows. When he returns with them, Uttara Goshata, he will surely extinguish the fire of separation that rages in your heart by giving you his sweet darshan." Alas, but is there any way to console Srimati at all? She thinks that a single moment without Krishna is like millions of ages. Anxiously, she asks her girlfriends, "Oh, fair-faced friend, will this long day pass in vain? Or will that most blessed afternoon in which the burning feeling in my eyes will be extinguished by seeing the smiling moon-like face of the Prince of Raj, which is flanked by his curly locks that are grayed by the dust thrown up by the hooves of his cows, finally come." The Sakis then soothe Srimati's pain somewhat by saying, "O Radhe, that most desired time will come. Be a little patient." Some of this anxiety has been drawn into this sweet verse of Shripad also. Srimati teaches her pet parrot verses about the spotless fame of Sri Krishna so that the burning fire of her separation can be somewhat extinguished.
He talks like a Krishna parrot. So, Radhika is listening the same voice of I'm coming. So like a parrot is, and so that's the she feels very satisfied Krishna is coming.
The Sakis are very upset.
Yes, I feel that. Sakis are very upset
when they see how much Srimati suffers out of separation from Krishna. And while they wonder how they can save her life, Srimati herself finds the remedy by teaching her pet parrot verses about Krishna in the Brahma Gita. Brahma Gita, Song to the Bumblebee, Srimad Bhagavat. It is described that Srimati, who suffered out of separation from Krishna, who had left for Mathura, took a bumblebee that was buzzing around her feet.
Bumblebee is around the bee means Krishna.
On the flowers.
He takes honey from the flower. Krishna to take the honey of love from flowers. So in Bumblebee, he sees Krishna is so much love.
In the Brahma Gita, Song to Bumblebee, Srimad Bhagavat, it is described that Srimati, who had left for Mathura, took a bumblebee that was buzzing around her feet to be one of Krishna's messengers. And she glorified Krishna in many ways by revealing Krishna's many faults to the bee. Premamai, Radha, imagined that the bee replied with his natural humming drone. "O goddess, if my Lord has so many faults, then why are you always speaking of him? Is he such a good person that you always have to speak about his faults?" Sri Radha then replies, "Ore, although I don't need any non-white friends. Still, I am unable to stop speaking about them. When your friend was still in Vraj, everybody was speaking about him. And now that he's not here anymore, everyone is constantly crying over him. I'm only speaking about him to save my own life. I can renounce everything, even your friend, but I cannot give up speaking about him. Talking about him is my only support in life now. If I stop speaking about him for even a moment, I cannot stay alive. While Srimati teaches her pet parrot verses about Krishna in this way, her mood suddenly changes. She thinks, alas, am I only trying to make myself happy by trying to mitigate my own pain of separation, forgetting my service to him? How unfortunate I am. Then she calls her maidservants and tells them to start making a string of fresh gunja beads and a peacock feather crown for Krishna. Remembering how happy these items will make her beloved, Srimati feels some relief from her anxiety. And sometimes, when the fire of separation from her beloved increases, she draws a picture of him and embraces it. A picture of Krishna is non-different from him. The self-realized souls know this. To extinguish this fire, rubbing it against her breast, the maidservants are very upset when they see their beloved Swamini suffering like that. That is why Shripad calls her Priya Swamini in this verse. Shri Hari Priya Radharani, the crown jewel of mistresses, teaches her pet parrot verses filled with Hari's fame and glory while playing on the waves of Prem. And sometimes Rishabhanu's tender princess, the queen of the Kunjas, makes new strings of Gunja beads and an enchanting crown of peacock feathers for her beloved Krishna. And sometimes Srimati draws the form of her heart's beloved with her loving tears and rubs this picture on her breast with an anxious heart. In this way, Radha, being separated from Hari, always spends her days at home. Blessed is Sri Prabodhananda. Blessed are these pastimes. And blessed is the vision of these pastimes. Thus ends verse 181. Jai Jai Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.